Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo. I'm not sure how to approach this. Is Man United fans should be happy? Spurs fans should be happy? Is it a point shared and everybody go home happy? I have no idea actually. But the game was not as entertaining as the score line reflects, to be honest. I was bored watching that game. But anyway, we're here to talk about the Man United versus Spurs game. A lot of people saying Man United should have won the game because they went 2-1 up. I thought Spurs dominated the game, but without clear-cut chances, both teams hit the post. Listen, hit that like button. Give us a subscription if we're new. We have a debutant on the channel. Timmy's here. Timmy, how are you doing? How's everything with you? You're muted, yeah.
I'm doing well. Shout out. I appreciate you, my guy, for inviting me on the channel. I'm excited to talk about this game. It was frustrating as a United fan. I went to a bar to watch it, a United bar in DC here. But yeah, we'll debate it. It's frustrating game. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
That's what I'll
Kate,
say.
how are you doing, Kate? Everything is good?
Yeah, all good. No, I didn't enjoy the game much like you. I thought it was a dreadful game with very poor quality on both teams. But you know what? It's a point at Old Trafford. It can't be sniffed at, regardless of the sort of team Man United are at the minute.
Well, how's everything going? Your guy Timo Werner debut played all right. No,
I mean, if his look, his finishing is bad. We all know that. But look, like I said last time, I think I can't remember what show it was on. It was maybe the morning show that we did on Friday. I don't want him to score goals. If he can get 5 or 6 assists, then I'm good with that.
Yeah, but let's start actually with. I actually want to start with Spurs people for a bit, and I want to say, are these 2 points dropped from your point of view? Do you think you should have won at Old Trafford? Do you think you're in a top 4 race now, or title race, whatever you want to call it? Do you think these are 2 points dropped, even though with injuries, a lot of injuries, you had a lot of injuries? Kate, do you think you should have won this game?
Before the teams came out, yes, I was really confident. I thought we'd win. But when I saw the team, I said I'd take a draw, pull my arm off for a draw. So, yes, with some of our team back, if we'd have had a Kulu, probably would have made a difference. I thought our midfield was weak today. Hojlund is just a dreadful footballer. It's just one of them things. Normally, I would say 2 points dropped because we dominated the majority of the game, but I still feel like it was a decent point because we're so injury ravaged. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I feel I'm a little bit gutted, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, do you think there is something that could have been done better to win the game based on because I looked at your bench, it's only Brian Hill.
Yeah, look, on the day, I think a draw is a fair result, right? As far as the performance is concerned, I feel disappointed because knowing that even if Kulusevski didn't get sick and was on the pitch, that we probably win that game. So really? For me, that's where I'm disappointed, right? It's not like I don't think that we deserve to win on the day because the quality finishes and even the chances we had were not good. But yeah.
Timmy, from Man United point of view, you went to this game confident at all? And also looking at Hojlund scoring within like 5-10 minutes, Hojlund scored. I can't remember exactly when did he score. But Hojlund scoring a brilliant goal in the 3rd minute. Do you think he should have got 3 points out of this game? It's just scoring the 3rd minute at home. It should have been yours, in my opinion.
So on the run of play, I would say no, we didn't deserve the 3 points. But anytime you're up 2 times in a game, right? We went up 1-0, we went up 2-1. You want to get 3 points when that happens, right? So even though I don't think we were playing that well throughout the course of the 90 minutes, you know, being up twice in a game like that, you should at home, you should just find a way to buckle down and get the 3 points. But again, I would say, like you said earlier, it was a weird 2-2 because it wasn't this exciting game to me. Tottenham dominated possession, but they didn't do a lot with the possession, right? Most of their good chances were on set pieces, right? The Romero shot that hit the post, right? I think was it the second goal or the first goal they scored? I think Richarlison's was the first goal, right? So most of their chances, in my opinion, were off of the dead ball play. So, you know, throughout the course of the game, there wasn't both teams weren't really threatening each other, right? Even Hojlund's first goal, great strike, but it's a scruffy goal. It's a scruffy goal, right? There was, Rashford was, isolated. He tried to make some moves and it didn't work out. Hojlund picks up the pieces and scores a good goal. So I think a draw is a fair result, right? Again, if we take everything together and put it, but it wasn't an exciting game. It wasn't an exciting. I left the game just feeling empty, right? Just very empty. Like, this is just another one of these United performances where we're going to go back and we're not going to feel like we perform well. And that's been the story of our season.
To be honest with you, after the game, I was thinking about it, and I was actually thinking about, there are two ways to approach this game as a Man United fan. This is just my opinion, right? I'm not telling anybody how they feel. It's either you look at the Man United lineup and the Man United way of playing football and you say, yeah, this is our level now. Or you want to look at Man United and say, yeah, this is the biggest team or one of the biggest teams in the world. This is not good enough. But looking at it from outside, not being a Man United fan, this is where Man United are right now. This is about the right level where you are right now. Having Wan-Bissaka, Dalot, Johnny Evans at the back, right? With your forward line, Hojlund, Marcus Rashford, and Garnacho, I think the fact that Man United fans are excited about someone like Garnacho tells me where they are at the moment. Like, Garnacho might be, back in the days, might not be even sitting on the bench for Man United, for the great Man United teams from the early 90s all the way up to the 2011 team. But the fact that Man United fans get excited tells me where they are at the moment. So I think getting a point from this Spurs game, looking at your lineup, is all right. I think it's good enough. It's because I'm looking at the team. But see, you are doing the Man United fan thing. You're like, yeah, we have been great before.
No.
Where you are now? Where are you now?
It's not even that. It's more so that after this game, Spurs are 8 points clear of us. 8 points.
Which is where you are now.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We spent more money. We know what it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And
no one told you to accept it.
It's not a disrespect to Spurs fans, but it's just like, I think that game was there to be had, right? Even though we weren't playing that well. I think Spurs fans, if you all are being honest, I don't think you guys played that well. Like, I really don't. I think the fact that we were able to be in this game is because we didn't play that well. So again, it's just a yes. I know a lot of rival fans are like, oh, this is your level. Maybe it is. Last year we finished third, won a trophy. This year this is what it's been for United fans for the past 13 years. It's just been a roller coaster. We have 1 year where we finished second. We finished second under Ollie. We finished third under under Ten Hag. We finished second under Jose. Like, it's like this. It's a roller coaster, and there's no consistency. So, but I'm gonna keep the standard.
I think that's the problem, though. I'm being serious, genuinely, and this is not banter. Listen, my club has been here. The problem is, I kept saying we should win the league for Inter. 9 years, bro. 9 years. Every year, I say we should make the Champions League. 7 years. We should win trophies. We won a treble. We're one of the biggest teams in the world. But it doesn't change overnight. And I'm looking at this man. To be honest, looking at your lineup today, when you're relying your hope, and Will can chime in, and Kate, when you're putting your hope in an 18 years old Kobe Mainoo, and deep that, right? Deep this. When Man United fans are putting their hope on an 18 years old, it tells you where the club is at. 100%.
Of course. Absolutely. I mean, Kobe Mainoo was probably our best player again today. And that's a scary sign because he's free 99. He didn't cost any money, right? And it's not good. It's not good. I agree. We're not in a great position right now. We also have a bunch of injuries. We've been struggling with injuries all season, but that's not an excuse, right? A club of our stature should be able to work through injuries, right? Spurs didn't have Son today. He's at the Asian Cup. They didn't have Kulusevski. They didn't have Sarr. They didn't have Basuma. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse. They didn't have 4 of their best players.
Madison.
Madison.
Oh, I forgot about Madison. He's been injured. He's been out for so long. I forgot about him. He's been out, 2-3 months now or something like that. So
a month and a half, I think.
It's just it's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about that, we're struggling to nick points, right? With, a Spurs team that's a good team, plays good football more often than not, but it's a scary sight. That's all I'll say. It's a scary sight right now for us.
I find it quite insulting to even suggest that Man United are on the same level as Spurs at the minute. I'm not going to lie. I think we are above Man United as to where we are. Even though Andrew's only been here a matter of sort of 6 months, the way we play, the unity within the team, the philosophy, everything is far more advanced than Man United. I mean, Ten Hag hasn't even brought a philosophy or style of play into your club. So I find that's the hardest thing to swallow, because I know if we had 1, 2, 3 of our top players back, we would have absolutely annihilated United today. It just so happens that we were just even more ravaged than before, with Kulu being out of a stomach bug, and even the ones that were playing. Udogie has been ill all week. I think Porro's been ill all week, and you could see it because we were much slower than we have been in previous games this year.
Yeah, 100%. Well, looking at this Man United team and the squad and everything now and all this, Man United, big team, one of the biggest teams in the world. Do you expect better at all from these players? Do you think the players are underperforming, or do you think that's their level?
I do think the players are underperforming. I think some of them are not the quality that Manchester United should have, but I think they're underperforming. And the reason that tells me that today is Manchester United played in spurts. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes here. There was intensity at times, but then the intensity faded. So I tried to think to myself, why does intensity fade, right? And for me, it's if you're not enjoying what you're doing, any normal human being, when they're in a job, working for a job that they just don't like, they have no passion for, their intensity drops. You just can't get up to do the task on the day. And then when something happens in the game that maybe jars your interest a little bit, that comes in pieces. And then when that fades or something doesn't go your way, you immediately shrink back into the uninterest of being there. And I just think right now these players are uninterested in playing for Erik ten Hag. I really do. I think that they don't feel, there's not a camaraderie. And I think that's the difference with Spurs. Are these players bad? Yes, right? 50% of those players I'd like to see the backside of on a plane to Bayern Munich with Eric Dyer if we can. But they are playing in a group right now that is unified. There is a purpose, right? Like when you start a new job and you have that excitement of it being fresh and new and moving forward and doing things, you work harder than you do when you're unhappy at your job, right? And I just think right now, a lot of those Manchester United players are just unhappy at their job.
But at least Hojlund scored a brilliant goal, to be honest. I actually should praise the guy.
Strike.
He actually was very good today. Moved well, held the ball well, played very well today. To be honest with you, the players around him aren't help. He had to battle Romero and Van de Ven most of the time, which is not an easy job. The problem is Marcus Rashford again. Yes, he scored a good goal, but I thought that more than not, he makes the wrong decisions. Again, selfish. Again, doesn't want to pass. Wants to be the main man. Doesn't want to play everybody in. He wants to score at any cost. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, yeah, there is a player there because the talent was there. But why are you constantly making the wrong decision? Why your football? And I was with Joe doing the watch along, and I said, Marcus Rashford might have the talent, but the reason why Marcus Rashford is here now and not being mentioned with the good wingers, because he has the speed, he has the athleticism, he has the shot, he has the technique. It's football IQ. I think his football IQ is below the average footballer, literally below the average footballer. And I don't know what you think about that, Timmy, but to be honest, this is how every time I'm watching Marcus Rashford, it's like, yes, you're that guy. Very good, no football IQ.
Yeah, no, I've been saying this for years and years and years, and I've fallen on deaf ears. I've been saying this for quite a long time. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. I know he's an electric player. He's an explosive player in spurts, but I think top footballers throughout the course of a 90-minute spell, they're playing good football. They're making the right decision over and over and over again. And he does not make the right decisions. Even look at Hojlund's first goal. Rashford is isolated. He's in a one-on-one, and he literally runs into traffic. and Hojlund just manages to, luckily pick it up and have a great strike. But that's indicative of who Marcus Rashford is, making the wrong decision time and time again. And I keep on trying to, I told people before the season started, everyone, obviously, De Gea was not very good last season. But I was telling people he's the least of our worries. We don't score enough goals, right? People are like, oh, well, Rashford scored 30 goals. No, we need players who move the ball around better, pass better, make the right decisions so the team can score more goals, not just one player. If Rashford has to do a bunch of worldly stuff to score, that's not how good top teams operate, right? And that's the issue with Marcus Rashford. There's a lot of people who think he's a top winger. I do not think that. I think our wide players are below the standard, below the standard of an average Premier League team.
Well, at
right?
least they're not Timo Werner.
Yeah, there's been seasons. Yeah, he wasn't very good today either. But there's seasons where Rashford has scored like 20 plus goals, and I thought he was awful. I really thought he was awful, and people were saying, "Oh, but he scored 20 something goals." Da, da, da. I'm like, no, he's not playing well. He's not playing well, and we're never gonna. If he's your best attacking, or if he's the person that people are looking up to for within the team, you're not going to be good enough and you're not going to score enough goals. Yes, he's, like you said, he scored a goal today, but I thought he was poor. I thought he was poor for a majority of the game. I don't know how you as Spurs fans feel, but did you ever feel like outside of that moment with the goal, like he didn't really do anything? He didn't really do anything. So it's just it's tough for me because I love Marcus Rashford as a person. I think he gives me great moments. He scores great goals, but I don't think he's a top player. I don't think he's even. I think he's a decent footballer. That's what I think he is.
Yeah, there's a breaking news. David Ornstein just said that Nottingham Forest and Everton are expecting to be informed on Monday that they have been found in breach of Premier League, if FFP of Premier League, of course, for 3-year cycle until June of 2023. Both have prepared mitigation. I think they're going to get more points deduction. I think that's a big deal because Everton should have been probably 10th or something, but I think I said that maybe Nottingham Forest will drop. I think Everton might get dropped, but Sheffield United and Burnley are atrocious. So I'm not sure if this is related to anybody, to City or Chelsea or Arsenal or anybody, but I think this was expected. Bad for Nottingham Forest, bad for Everton. Well, yeah, I don't think this actually will fire them up even more. But yeah, listen, people, over 200 people here. Can we get the likes? We aren't even on 100 likes, people. So we need the likes to go up a little bit. The like button is underneath your live chat. It's the only way this channel is going to grow. We're going to get more subscribers in. So hit that like button. Get us to 200 likes at least, or 150 likes, people. Listen, the last thing about Man United is Ten Hag again. I think even though McTominay got that chance at the end, I thought he made the wrong substitution again. I think that again you lose control of the midfield. Why he has to stick with this? Why is do this, sub McTominay in for Eriksen? I'm not sure what else he could have done, but McTominay comes in, doesn't touch the ball enough, tackles in and all the stuff. But I think with Eriksen and Maino, they provide a little bit of ball control, a little bit at least of ball control. McTominay should not be a midfielder. He's an attacking mid or something. I'm not sure why he insists on McTominay, because he wanted to win the game. He should have scored that last chance, to be honest. Should have scored, shoulda, coulda, whatever, right? But I don't think McTominay is the answer. And again, it tells me where Man United are. Again, subbing in McTominay, hoping for a goal. Listen, I don't know. Man United, I'm watching them, and I don't feel sorry for you guys because you dominated a lot. I don't. I just feel that Man United fans need to know where they are. Because again, if this is your substitution, you're taking off Eriksen, subbing in McTominay. Even someone like Will comes in on every single stream, me and Will. He says, I need this player gone. It's not good enough for Spurs for what we want to do. I need this player gone. I need this player gone and this player gone. You guys say that, but you keep saying that you should have done better, which is something I can't comprehend, in my opinion. But anyway, listen, Temi, what are the expectations now?
Try and get top 4. That's the only thing we really can do, honestly. Yeah. I mean, what is the expectation? Try and get top 4. Absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying it's plausible, but is that what we're striving for? I'm sure that's what the manager is trying to, achieve, because there's not much else to achieve, right? We still are in the FA Cup, right? But other than that, there's not much skin on the bone. But I'm going to be honest, like, I don't think we're going to get top four. I just don't see the cohesion from an injury perspective. We're struggling from just an overall football perspective. We don't play good football. We haven't played good football all season. It's been a struggle since minute one till this game. So I think we'll finish outside the top four, right? I just can't. The goal would be to try and get there, though. That's at the end of the day. Maybe try and win the FA Cup if we can. But this season's a wash. I've already said it. Like, this season's a wash. I think the whole focus should be, we have these new, we have Ineos in, right, taking over footballing operations, figuring out what they're trying to do in terms of getting a director of football, because we don't have a director of football, figuring out who's going to be running things from an operational perspective, and then go from there, because it's been a mess. It's going to continue to be a mess until we figure that part out. So that's where my focus is, honestly.
Will or Kate, do you guys think that they should sack Erik ten Hag and get someone else at least to prepare these players for the next season?
Yeah. Like, I don't even understand how they're in. Yeah, I don't even think how they're understanding they're in seventh, right? Like, they're on the same goal difference as Brentford, and Brentford scored 2 more goals than them. Like, how are you in 7th place with a -5 goal differential? Like, I don't even know how that happened.
Because they're the kings of 2-1 and 1-0.
It's bad.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just weird, right? Like, the next position, the first team on the table with a minus goal differential is Wolverhampton in 11th. Like,
and then -1.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like,
every stat said that they should be 11 or 10th, other than goals conceded. Every stat, chances creation, XGs, entries in the box, like successful crosses, everything says that they need to be 10th or 11th, but they are 7th. And I think that doesn't reflect actually how the team is playing football.
It's been bad. It's been awful. But like I said this about, and I understand people how they feel about Erik ten Hag, but I've always said I don't want the Glazers making hiring and firing decisions anymore, because they've been doing it for the past 10 years and they've been failing at it for the last 10 years, right? So if Sir Jim Ratcliffe and these new people want to come and get rid of Erik ten Hag, I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it, right? If they have someone they've targeted that they want to come and lead the helm, I'm cool with that, because it's someone else making the decision. But until they're settled in, right, and they figure, they figured out their structure, how they want things to run, I don't want anything to change, even though it's been bad. It's been very, I want to emphasize, like, it's been awful, but I don't want the Glazers making that decision anymore. It's just,
an interim manager wouldn't hurt,
It doesn't make it.
Why is worse going to happen? It makes it better. I'm telling you. Do you want me to tell you how it makes you better?
It doesn't.
Do you want? Okay, here's my opinion. The more, Will said it, the more your players play for Ten Hag and the worse it gets, the players' value go down. You won't be able to sell them. You need a spark for these players to perform better, so at least you'll be able to offload them. That's the problem.
I saw Ralph Rangnick come into our side, and we played one good half of football when he first came. The first game, we played Crystal Palace, played a good half, and for the rest of his tenure, we pretty much played awful. So I've been here before. Like, I've seen this over and over and over again. This is not something like new to me. Like, people love, like, talking about, like, United fans love bringing up Ralph Rangnick, like, oh, he said we need to do X, Y, Z, but forget, like, we were playing shit football. We were not playing good. So it doesn't matter. It genuinely, like, for me, it's like, okay, if you want to get an interim, cool. If you want to keep Ten Hag, cool. I want this new footballing structure and this football operation to make the decisions. And if they want to sack Ten Hag, he can dip. I genuinely don't care. Like, he can dip. But until then, I don't think it's going to make a difference if we have that new manager bounce. These players have literally sacked like 5 managers. Why do I think that if I bring in an interim, they're going to give a shit about that interim? They're not. Like, I've been here. I know this is not.
No, but we've seen Oli come in and provide the spark.
That was United folklore. That was an aberration.
But that's the point.
That was not reality. So should we go and bring Carrick from
yes, 100%. 17 games left. If the players perform well, you might be able to sell McTominay. You might be able to sell Marcus Rashford to Paris Saint-Germain. I believe so. You might be able to sell Wan-Bissaka.
Doubt it.
The worse it gets, the less of a chance of you selling your players.
It sounds good. It sounds good, but all these players are way too high wages. Like, why would PSG buy Marcus Rashford when he's on 375K a week, and they have wingers that are better than him?
There is no solution then, because a new manager comes in. He won't listen. Some of these players are done. I think sometimes you are done. At a club, you are finished. You're done, to be honest. Like, this is it. You need a new club. You might perform in a different club, but I think sometimes it's done. It's over. It's too many years, Timmy. It's too many years for them not performing. Too many years.
Never that. I never say never. That's crazy. What's the point of watching football? The reason football is so beautiful, because there's always hope.
Okay. I get what you're saying, but it's only hope. I don't sit here, Tim. I never say on my channel and say it's about hope. I say I analyze the past and I try to predict the future. And if the opposite happens, I'm gonna say okay. But nobody can sit here and tell me that yes, we're expecting these players to perform better with a new manager. If they have it, I said the same about Havertz. I said the same about Timo Werner.
I'm expecting that if we have I'm expecting that a new footballing operation, a group that has been successful in sport, in sports operations and different sports, whether it's cycling, football, whatever the case may be, to come in, assess the situation, and figure things out. That's not hope. That's an expectation, right? That's an expectation, because they've done it before in other avenues. So I want to see them do it with Manchester United. If the Glazers were just, if it was the same thing, the Glazers were still running the club. There's no Sir Jim Ratcliffe. There's no Sir David Brailsford. Then I'd be like, all right, well, there's no hope.
Can I ask you something? Do you think Dalot is going to be at Man United level where you want to win trophies?
No.
Player by player. Do you think, for example, Luke Shaw will be that guy?
I think Luke Shaw's a very good player. So
you think Luke Shaw will be at the level where you win a Premier League or a Champions League?
If he's fit, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So opinions then. Do you think Marcus Rashford can be that guy? Do you think Garnacho is that guy?
I think Rashford could be a great impact off the bench. Yep.
Yeah, but that's the point. You will need better. Are you going to keep a player at your club making 370 to be a bench player, an impactful player?
It's not my job to figure out how they figure out his salary. My job is to assess the players as they are, and then figure out how we can be better with the team we currently have. That's what I do. I analyze football. That's what I do. I do.
Listen, I'm moving on to Spurs, but let me do this couple of super chats. Ryan here, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And as I say, super chats are really appreciated here at the channel. United are hopeless, outplayed at home by a team who had so many players out. That was atrocious, to be honest, by United. Do you feel like the 7-0 broke them? They have been going downhill ever since. It's not the 7-0. It's what Will said. The lack of will to play for a manager, because they aren't convinced they're getting anywhere with him. They actually know, I think deep down, some of them know that he's going to get sacked. I actually think so.
Oh, of course. I love when Liverpool fans talk. This is like their golden era of the Premier League, and they've won one league title. But a great job. I mean, that's amazing. That's one league title. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. This is their golden era. Just don't forget that. This is the best they've ever been. One league title.
In your lifetime.
In my lifetime. I'm 28.
In your lifetime.
I'm 28. One league title.
The only team in England that dominated Europe and England. Ever. Never happened. Only Liverpool.
Yet.
I wasn't alive.
Yet. Okay. Yes.
City's on the way there. Yeah.
I wasn't alive then. So I don't know what this is this is the Premier League golden era. This is it.
This is Premier League golden era. It's definitely is. Premier League golden era. Yes.
The golden era. Yes, absolutely. That's what I was saying. Premier League. Yes, they won when I was like, not even a thought. But I'm talking about now, the Premier League. So enjoy your 7-0. I'll enjoy my countless Premier League titles, FA Cups, Champions Leagues.
I don't think even he's saying it as a banter. I actually think he's actually asking the question, like genuinely asking a question.
No, I don't think it broke us. I think the players are who they are. Like, they've always shown that they can down tools. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Andrew here is saying thoughts on Egypt game tonight and Salah. I don't think they will go through. I have no idea. I actually don't know. I didn't watch. I watched like some of the game. I was watching the Spurs United. I wasn't actually watch along, but I don't think this generation of Egypt actually is supporting Mohamed Salah. So I don't think they're not gonna win it, right? If you draw to Mozambique being 1-0 up, I don't think that's good enough. So I don't think Egypt will have any hope of winning this, especially being in Cote d'Ivoire and Ivory Coast. So I don't think there is any hope. Listen, people, hit that like button. Are we not even on? We're on only 100, 280 people here. So get the likes up, people. So let's speak about Spurs. And again, utilizing players at whatever the players that played. People want to blame Romero. I think in the first goal he didn't move enough. He's coming back from injury, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, like everybody else. He hasn't played for a bit. But I think that defensively, you're kind of left exposed, one-on-one defending. Pedro Porro, there was so much space behind Pedro Porro. Udogie had to recover too many times, that's Udogie's game, but there was so much space behind Pedro Porro. Your midfield is not good enough. Højbjerg and Skip should not be playing for this genius manager. I call him a genius, to be honest, because he gets the best out of some players. Richarlison scoring again. I was looking at this Spurs and I'm like, there is something there. Imagine if Madison is there. Imagine if Sarr is there. Imagine if Bissouma is there. If Kulusevski is there. If Son is there. Let's just put something. Spurs played Man United today with 5 players that they would have started this game hands down. Son, Sarr, Bissouma, Madison. Right? Who else?
Kulusevski.
5 players that they would definitely have started the game hands down. And still Spurs going to Old Trafford, dominating the game and looking like the team that want to win more. Very positive. And I was looking at the game, I'm like, yeah, this guy is a genius. He's not scared and he's adapting as well. Like, how did you guys see this game? Are you guys happy with that? You guys, Kate is not happy. I don't know why, but
no. I was just thinking the main indictment as to where Man United are right now is that I thought Johnny Evans was their best player on the pitch until he was subbed, and to say Johnny Evans is the best player that you've got at Man United during a game is just baffling to me when I think of Man United teams of old. But yeah, I mean, Ange, he gets disrespected a lot. He gets mocked, but what he's done for our club in the space of a few months is incredible. And yeah, for me, our midfield left the likes of Porro exposed at the back because our midfield was just so weak today, I thought, apart from Bentancur, who I thought was fabulous. So yeah, that's the most frustrating thing. As I said, if we had a Kulu or a Bissouma or maybe even a Sonny, we win that game. But he's been dealt a pretty crap hand, Ange, with all the injuries and now illness. But you know, we're coming through it. What he's achieved is, well, it's just night and day to what we was watching last season with Conte. So, you know, I can't. I'm so excited for the future under this manager, but I think we definitely need to explore a new midfielder to come in January, because when we're down to the bare bones, Skip and Højbjerg are just not good enough. And I'm worried that we've bought this Brendan Johnson, and today I thought he was absolutely dreadful today. Just didn't show me anything at all. So that's a little bit concerning. But I'm sure Ange will knows what he's doing. And yeah, like I say, I'm excited to see where it takes us.
Well, how did you assess the performance today? And are you going to admit that Romero made a mistake or no?
On that first goal?
Yes.
He had to cut inside to cover the man that when he got.
And he was walking and he was watching. We say that all the time to the kids. Don't ever ball watch. Ever. Don't ever.
Well, he followed inside because the can't remember who it was that got burned there. But he cut inside, and then when the ball came across, he just couldn't get over there fast enough. I think Brendan Johnson was ball watching.
Second goal.
Oh, the second goal.
Second goal. He literally was ball watching Rashford.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember this. I don't remember the second goal. I was talking about the
the second goal is the one that he was ball watching. The 1-2 was played, and he's the one who turned his back on the ball and didn't even follow the play. And I'm like, why are you not watching it back?
I don't remember.
Because Van de Ven had to cut across, try to get across Rashford. Van de Ven had to come from the other side. I thought, listen, I'm gonna give him the.
I didn't think Romero had a great game today.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. But again, Listen, against Spurs, Highline. By the way, Pedro Porro looked very good.
I thought Pedro Porro was great. He's my man of the match for me.
I thought he was very, very good. So you need a midfielder, right? This window.
Yeah, look, our depth in midfield right now is just right because people Højbjerg and Skip and those guys are not midfielders. In fact, I think this summer, I think we just need to shift Kulusevski into midfield. It's him, Madison. We need to pick up another 8/10, somebody who's a little bit more, versatile. We need another, because we've got Bentancur who can play both in the 6 and in the 8, right? So that gives a little bit of cover in the 8. We need someone who can play in the 8 and the 10. And then and then Kulusevski can cover for Madison if Madison gets injured again, right? And we need to go out and buy new wingers. We need wingers bad.
But you
Wingers
just spent
really
50
bad.
million on
Yeah,
Brennan Johnson.
I don't know why we did that. he could be our Kai Havertz if you want. But.
Really? He's not that bad though. He's improving though. I don't know
He's
why.
young enough. He's young enough that he could get better. But look, for me, I'm not one of these guys that you buy players in hopes that they'll get better. You should be buying players that are good enough now. I don't do that. Like, I don't care how old they are. I'm not saying buy for now means they're 26, 27. I'm saying if you buy them at 20, they better be good enough to play at 20, right? Not buy them at 20 and hoping that they'll come good at 23, 24 because you don't know the future. You don't know that they're going to develop into anything better than they are right now. There's no evidence to show you any of that stuff. Yeah, people can show like they have that, but players can fall off. I mean, look at Dele Alli. Comes in at 8, 19, 20 years old and is burning the Premier League. And then 2 years later, he can't even get a job at Burger King playing, or anything. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You got to buy players that are good now, not ones for the future. I hate that. Like when we signed Brian Hill, he's one for the future. Well,
I think it's the weakest player in the Premier League, to be honest.
yeah, no, he's...
Well,
Fabio
genuinely,
Vieira.
I think
Fabio
maybe
Vieira's
Fabio
the weakest.
Vieira.
Yeah.
Fabio Vieira probably, but Brian Hill. Oh,
Brian
my
Hill has
God.
about 5 pounds on Vieira, so
Like, oh my God, I was watching this and I'm like, what is happening here? Listen, Timo Werner though. Again, I said he isn't good enough to play for Spurs, and if Ange gets a tune out of this guy, he's a genius, absolutely a genius. The guy lost it. To be honest. And that's what I said, and people didn't believe me. When I said Spurs should have used that slot, because he's taking a slot on the roster, isn't he? People say, yeah, it's a free hit, we can send him back. But that might be your forward signing for this window. He's taking a slot on the roster. You might not get another player. Now you're moving to get a midfielder. You should have had a better signing than him, even if anybody else on loan. Timo Werner today, I'm like, people said he was okay. Come on. How was he okay? How do you look at this?
Okay, so I think that the way that I said, like on the Friday morning show, I thought the way that he found Bentancur there, if he can give me that 5 or 6 times this season, I'll say for the second half of this season, I would say decent job, right? Because if you remember, it's that cutback pass that he did to Bentancur. If he can do that when Son's on the team, all Son needs is 1 or 2, and he's going to put it in the back of the net. And that's what I said Timo Werner was good at. People said I was wrong, but it happened today exactly. And there was another pass early, like in the first 2 to 3 minutes, where Timo Werner puts the ball right into the middle of the pitch, and Richarlison's. But that's what I need from Timo Werner. I don't care if he scores. He doesn't have to score a goal all season. If he can just find Son. That's why I said I don't think Solomon's a very good player either. But Solomon finds Son on those cutback passes. And that's all I want somebody to do on either side, because right now that's what we're lacking from anyone out on the wings. Son doesn't need help scoring goals as long as you put the ball on his feet. And right now, we just haven't in the last 5 to 6 games been finding Son. There have been games where Son's had less than 5 touches in the opposition box. 0 touches in a whole 45 minutes of football. Right? Like that's unacceptable. The guy literally needs 1 or 2 chances to score 1 or 2 goals.
I'm not sure. Like Spurs, looking at this, you are in a top 4 race. Is that correct? Not a title race. You're not in a title race.
Not in a title, like mathematically we are, but I don't think it's like. Do I think there's a chance of us winning the league? No, I don't think there's a chance of that.
So you're in the top 4 title. Do you think you can overtake Arsenal
Oh,
or
absolutely. Yeah.
Villa?
Villa, I don't know, but we'll definitely overtake Arsenal for sure. Yeah.
Do you believe that, Timmy, that Spurs can overtake Arsenal in the top 4 race?
That's a tough one. I would say no. To be honest with you, I think Arsenal's going through a rough patch right now. In terms of, I think their biggest issue is just goal scoring, right? I think they're still a very solid team, but yeah, I can't see it with the injuries Spurs have, along with I think they're going to have a dip. Like, I'm not saying that to be. I just think naturally, like when you're going through this progression, new manager, stuff like that, people are figuring you out. Just like Arsenal's having their little rough patch, and they've had a rough patch, I think Spurs will eventually have a moment or two where they drop points they shouldn't drop. So
but
I think
we already had a rough patch, and all our players come back February 1st, so we'll be fine.
Okay. Listen, we'll see. We'll see. I think Arsenal will finish above you guys, though. That's just
why do you say that again? I didn't hear.
I think Arsenal have better players. I just think they have better players. I think when you have better who.
Yeah.
In totality, I just think they have a better squad.
Yeah, who? What world-class player does Arsenal have?
I don't think they have any world-class players, but I don't think Spurs have any world-class players.
Heung-min Son's not world-class?
No, he's a top player. He's one of my favorite players. I wouldn't call him world-class though. No.
Who's better than him on the left wing?
In what league are you talking about? In the world?
Yeah.
Kylian Mbappe. When he plays on the left,
he's a left forward. He's more of a striker than a left winger. But
Vinny, when he plays on left-sided players, if we want to do that, left-sided.
So that's
players,
one.
I think Vinny's better. I think Kylian Mbappe is better.
Already said him, but that's 2.
Who else? I have to. It's a good question.
There's 2, right? And I would say Vinicius Jr. hasn't even come close to accomplishing what Son's done in football yet, right? So as far as like individual ability,
I mean, he's an older player. Yeah, of course, he's an older player.
So you could say potential Vinicius Jr. may at some point exceed Son's, output. But
listen, again, I think Son's a top player. I just wouldn't. World class is like I reserve that for like. I think the wide positions in general, in terms of where it's been in the past, is significantly lower. So I'm holding it to that standard.
And Mohamed Salah is the highest producing winger in the world.
Yeah,
right. That's a fact.
Yep.
Son has the highest conversion rate of any attacker in the world.
Yeah, he's a great finisher. Great finisher. I wouldn't put him in that world class is reserved for like very, very few people, in my opinion. I think people put way too many people in the world. I think he's a top player. That's what I would say.
For me, it's top 5 in their position. That's world class.
Top 5 in their position.
Yeah, because out of the hundreds of thousands of footballers, if you're in the top 0.1%, you're world class.
Okay. I mean, we can agree to disagree on that. I wouldn't call him world class, though. I wouldn't call him world class.
I think it all depends on what you call a world class.
Right. Top guys.
Will. Okay, so here's what I give Will. Though. Here's what I give Will. He provides a definition of what he calls world class. I might disagree with that definition, right? But in his definition, a world class is top 5 players in any position. That's what he calls a world class.
No, and I respect that. I don't agree with that. So
what is your definition of a world class player?
For me, it's a mixture of things. One, obviously, how you perform over a 90-minute stretch. Son does that. He's done that for a long, long time. Obviously output, and then for me,
2
trophies and medals. Like that's
all right.
That would be the third thing for me.
Yeah, but trophies and medals are team achievements. They're not individual achievements.
Of course. So. Again, I agree. Like I'm repeating this. This is not a slight on Son. I want to repeat that. I think Son, if I would take Son today in a heartbeat on my team. But again, world class, that's Neymar, that's Iniesta, that's Messi.
You do know Son scored more goals than Neymar in the last 5 years, right? Like far more.
I mean, that's
Neymar was not world class. Neymar was world class at Barcelona, but he's not world class at PSG.
I don't think goals and assists is the only thing that defines a world class player. But that's fine. That's neither here nor there. Are you telling me?
There's a lot of people that believe that, right? Chelsea fans think Eden Hazard was world class, so that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, for me again. There's a lot of things, but Son is right there. He's like he's inching. Like I think he's like right on that like lever.
You do know he's the second person from non-penalty goals to win the Golden Boot in Premier League history, right?
Yeah. Again,
no other player. Mohamed
he's a
Salah
top
has never
player.
scored 23
I
goals
feel like me
from
saying
open
he's
play
not world class
in a
is
single
like
season.
he's a top player. I'm not putting him in that world class bracket. I'm just not. I'm not doing it. Top player though. One of the best.
I mean, Mohamed Salah has never scored 23 goals from open play in a season. Never.
Yeah.
He's always had penalties that have included in his total.
Right. That's fair. I'm hearing you. I still think Salah's a better player than Heung-min Son. I don't know.
I would say overall, for example, Son's not a great assister. Son's a good assister, but he's not a great assister. I think Salah has more facets to his game, right? So, for example, I do think Salah is a bit of a volume merchant, right? He takes probably 2 to 3 times as many shots as Son does on average per season.
Well, let me ask you a question. You said top 5 players.
Mm-hmm.
What if these top 5 players, 2 of them are miles ahead of the other 3? How can you put all of them in the same category?
Yeah.
Take, for example, so Messi and Ronaldo in their primes were that, but they were levels above everybody else, right? So those are guys that I would say are legends of the game. Goats, legends. People who are in GOAT conversations are at a different level than world class, but world class means that you could even reduce it down to top 3. I still believe that Son is the top 3 left winger.
Do you think Son is the same level as Mbappe and Vinny Jr.?
Son is better than Vinny Jr. statistically, but he's not as good as Mbappe.
He's not better than Vinny. I love. He's not a better player than Vinny Jr. He's not.
His output is better than Vinny Jr.
His output is better, but he's not a better player than Vinny Jr.
So how do you mean better? If his
I think Vinny is, again. There's a bunch of different things. I think he's a much more athletic winger. He's a better dribbler. I think he's a better passer of the football. I think.
Who's a better passer? I'm sorry.
I think Vinny's a better passer. I do.
Do you think Vinny Jr. is a better crosser or passer than Heung-min Son? Really think that?
Yes, absolutely. I do.
Let me ask you a question.
So you're watching Vinny Jr. and you think Vinny Jr. is one of the attributes that Vinny Jr. excels at?
I think he's a better. I'm not saying it's like drastic. I think he's a better passer though. Yes, absolutely.
This is the problem that I have with these types of arguments. Like I love. With the eye test argument about who's better or who's not, right? People's preferences.
It's an eye test, of course.
Right, but if we were in a job, right? Say we're both salesmen, right? And when you take a sales call, you're lively, people love you, you got a great personality, but you sell $1 million a year.
Yeah.
And I'm real quiet and shy on the phone, but I sell $3 million a year. Who's a better salesman?
Listen, I'm in sales. You're talking to the right person, but
the guy who sells $3 million is the better salesman.
Of course.
So the guy who scores more goals and more assists is not the better player?
No.
You just contradict yourself.
Goals and assists are 1 second in a 90-minute game, right? It's 5. A goal is a 4 or 4 or 5 second. Let's say you isolate your fullback, you make a play, you score. That's 4 or 5 seconds. I think Vinny Jr. over the course of 90 minutes performs better than Son right now. Again,
but you think that, but if you look at the numbers, I don't think it would be the case.
We're not talking about Son, Champions League final, big goals. Like this is we're 3 years removed from that. We're 3 or 4 years removed from that. I'm talking about right now. Vinny's a better player than him. Right now, Vinny's a better player. If we're talking about 26-year-old Son, right, who is playing with Kane and they have one of the best partnerships we've ever seen in the Premier League, we're having a different discussion. I'm talking about right.
I mean, that was just 2 years ago, right?
Anyway, so I want to go back to that thing because we actually deviated a lot, right? Over 300 people here, guys. We need to get the likes up a little bit. But you just said that Arsenal have better players than Spurs, right? Do you believe Odegaard is better than Maddison?
Yes, I do. I do.
You genuinely think that Odegaard is a better football player than Maddison?
I do. I think again, Maddison's a very these are some of my you can go on my feed, my TikTok. I wanted James Maddison and Man United. I think he's a better player than Bruno Fernandes, but I think Odegaard's just an overall better.
Timmy, don't do that. Timmy. I know what you're doing, right? It's it doesn't matter if you like James Maddison or not. If you like James Maddison or not, it doesn't matter, right? Because I know that Man United now will have Maddison. But if you are offered tomorrow 2 players, you take one of Odegaard or James Maddison, You are taking Odegaard.
Yes, I am taking. Why? This recency bias is crazy.
Your recency bias of his one good season last year is crazy. That's the only good season he's had in his whole career.
That's not true.
Actually,
That is true.
That's actually true.
That is actually true. It's
I've
factually true.
been watching Odegaard since he was playing for. He's a excellent player. He's an excellent player.
Excellent at what?
What? As a number 8 on the half turn, finding people, making like the reason Arsenal even score goals is because how Odegaard plays and passes the football around. He is their engine. He is their creator. Again, James Maddison.
You do realize that Arsenal's chance creation this season is 8th in the league, and that his production is probably the lowest it's been in 3 years.
Yes, I
and last season was the highest it had ever been.
Yes.
Right. So
I understand that.
So if his career is average and he had one good blip and one slightly low blip, the mean is what? It's not good. James Maddison over the last 5 seasons has been one of the highest chance creators in Europe, not just the Premier League.
I completely.
Okay, so I just want to go back. So the reason why you think that Arsenal will finish above Spurs is that because you think Arsenal have better players, just genuinely.
Yes.
That's why. Okay, it's fair enough, to be honest.
I think the squad is just bigger and better. It's
all right.
Not
they do have a deeper squad than us.
Yeah,
slightly.
They do.
This is what the Premier League is. It's a 38-game season of
who can manage in Champions League, Timmy.
Who can manage injuries? Who can manage bad form? Who can manage all the different factors that come with the Premier League? Because there's so many different things that are going to get thrown at you. And the squad, not the first 11, the squad that is better normally will finish higher.
But like even with all of our draws, we have not gone this season, with winless in 7 games or 1 win in 7. We haven't done that. They have.
They have been poor. Like
they didn't even have the injuries that we had. They did that on their own with Saliba, with Gabriel, with Saka, with Odegaard. Mm-hmm. They've gone winless or 1 in 7. They've won 1 game in 7.
I think they've been bad. They have been bad.
Didn't you do the same?
Best players.
Oh, without your best players.
No, they went 1 in 7 with their best players on the pitch. We went 1 in 5 with our B team on the pitch.
Yeah, to be honest, I actually don't know. So this is one of the. I wanted to just show this. Zynical is saying Solanke is a better player than Foden because he has more GA. That's very disingenuous. One is a striker and one is a playmaker behind the forward. So Zynical, that's not
winger.
Not true.
It's not apple to apple.
It's not true.
Yeah.
You can compare Morgan Gibbs-White to Phil Foden, and now we're talking. Now Phil Foden is miles ahead of Morgan Gibbs-White. So people just. It's not only about the GA. It's about the position.
I'm a big.
Only about the GA.
Hold on.
90-minute performance guy.
I agree. Hold on. I agree with you. Okay, it is true because Foden has performed in past. So you're looking at Foden over time. If Martin Gibbs-White performed better than Foden every single year, you would be saying Martin Gibbs-White is better than Foden. Just because Foden's having a little bit of a dip in form for one season, like Son had a dip in form last season, doesn't mean that he's past it. He's past his prime. He can't handle it because he scored more goals in the first half of this season than he scored entire of last season. So you can't say he's done. He's finished.
No, of course. Listen.
17 goal contributions this season.
You're arguing about some of the players I love to watch. So this is not. I want to repeat that. These are some of the players I love watching week in and week out. I just would not take Heung-min Son over Vinny. I think again the Odegaard Madison thing. I don't think it's
a conversation. It's a conversation.
I'm not saying Vinny Jr. doesn't play for Arsenal. Who would you take, Martinelli or Son?
Sorry,
Son or Martinelli?
Of course, it's not even a question.
Okay, cool. So I would grant you Saka on the right is better than any right winger we've got, right?
Yep.
Okay. Strikers, it's an argument.
Who?
It's an argument.
Who's that?
The strikers.
I would take Jesus. I think Jesus is still better than any striker yet. Even though he doesn't score as many goals, I still think he's better than Richarlison. Absolutely.
You're probably right. I wouldn't necessarily argue with that one either. Madison, I would think you're wrong.
Richarlison in my 5-a-side team, so yes, I would.
Yeah.
But like in that back line, Pedro Porro or Ben White?
Pedro Porro. This season, we're judging this season.
I would say, of course. I would say.
And I don't think it's even a question here.
Yeah, no.
Udogie or Zinchenko?
Udogie for sure. Yep.
Okay, so then you're taking the majority of our players compared to Arsenal.
No, I would. You've mentioned. Okay, I would take their center backs over your center backs. I would take Declan Rice over, Sarr.
Well, he's Basuma. That's the role he's been playing for Arsenal.
Yep. I would take Declan Rice over Basuma.
Hold on. How would you take Gabriel over Van de Ven after what you've seen this season?
Yeah, I would. As a partnership.
Really? Forget. But see the partnership thing.
Van de Ven has been playing for. Listen, Van de Ven has been playing for. He's had an excellent first
11 games. 11 games.
He's played well for 5.
I get what you're saying. Gabriel has played 20 games. Yeah.
Listen, I think Van de Ven is on the ball. I think he's one of the most elegant center backs I've seen in quite a while. But I've seen people start like this, and I need more of a samples. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I watched Van de Ven before he came to Spurs. So I need more of a sample.
Neither do we. So,
by the way, people think that Kate isn't speaking because we're not.
Sorry, Kate, please.
Kate is the one who's choosing not to speak. I'm not saying anything, bro.
I just wanted to say I'm a massive Tottenham fan. Obviously, Son's not world class for me either. I don't think.
He also said he was finished and washed, so that's not understandable.
World class. When you talk about world-class players, you're talking about generational talents who are the likes of Messi, Ronaldo. Son, for me, isn't that. He goes missing too much in games for me. He's not consistent enough. He was diabolical last season. I know that a lot of our players were. But just for me personally, I don't put Sonny as world-class. But on the other hand, to pick Odegaard over Maddison makes me feel like my brain's going to explode because Odegaard just does that a lot. He flicks his hair. I don't see that he does actually all that much else. But yeah, no, that was my point. I just don't see Sonny as world class at all. I know me and Will have disagreed on that before, but it's the same with Romero. I mean, I'm hoping that this Dragushin comes in and takes Romero's place.
What?
I am. I don't rate Romero. He's a liability for me. Makes far too many rash tackles. He misses so many games because of being suspended.
This is interesting.
I really hope this Dragushin will come in, learn his trade, get this partnership with Van de Ven, and push Romero to the back.
Misses so many games. How many games before this season, right? How many games had Romero missed from
talking about before this season. I'm talking about this season.
So this season is 3. That's it, right?
Yeah, 3
so
games.
How many games in the last two years before this season? So it's 2.5 years he's been playing for the club. How many games has he missed due to suspension for us?
I don't know. I'll let you tell me.
So you said you said he misses too many.
He does.
So how many is too many?
He does because I look at Saliba and he doesn't get suspended.
Saliba has been suspended.
Yeah, okay. But when I watch Romero, every time he goes in, I'm thinking he's going to get booked. He is a liability. He's going to do it one day in a final or to stop us getting in the top 4. He makes me nervous.
You said he misses too many. You didn't say he looks like he's going to miss too many. You said he
actually
misses
too many games. Even if it's only 3, that's 3 games too many. I don't want our main defender.
So no player could ever get a red card or 2 yellow cards or 5 yellow cards.
No, they should never ever. It should be the law.
Okay.
But no, go on, you tell me how many games Romero's missed since he's been with Spurs.
Now it's 6. Before this previous red card, it was 3.
But he's always on the edge. He's teetering on the edge all the time. If Romero plays, he might get another yellow card, which means another suspension.
No, it's to reset.
Yeah, but it's reset now, but it wasn't.
Romero has never reached a limit or been suspended because of 5 yellow cards. Never.
No, because it's just reset.
No. I mean, in his entire time at Spurs.
Well, I'm just telling you how I see it. I like my defenders.
Udogie have already had more days of suspension than Cristiano Romero has. Are they liabilities?
I like my defenders to be like Van de Ven, who can go in with a sliding tackle and not take the player out. I don't like the bozo gene that Romero's got.
Oh, he's a brilliant player.
I just don't think he has a bozo gene.
He's a great defender. There's no doubt about it. He won a World Cup. But for me, I would like better. Someone without that.
What does he need to do better?
Saliba,
not make stupid decisions.
You know that Van de Ven had more yellow cards than Romero when he got injured, right?
Yeah, but Will, you're Romero's number 1 fan. You're defending till the hill.
I'm not his number 1 fan. I'm the number 1 fan of facts, right?
Yeah, but you also said when
Romero
Van de Ven got injured, it went a red.
Hold on, because it wasn't. By the laws, it wasn't.
It so was.
The laws of football aren't memes, right? His studs were up. not in the law, right? It's not.
I go with my eyes. I
Follow
don't care
through,
about
not in the
facts.
law.
I watch with my eyes. I don't do facts. I know facts don't lie. I know facts don't mean anything above feelings.
Right.
But I go with my eyes, and Romero makes me nervous. Which
I don't know
is
what that
why
means. Go with your eyes. I have eyes
I
too.
watch.
I'm
I watch
looking
him
at you
play,
right
and
now.
it makes me
right?
nervous.
Okay, he makes you nervous, so he makes you feel nervous.
Yeah, and not just me. When I'm in groups, everyone, oh my God, Romero was lucky there to not get another yellow or to not get a red. For me, Van de Ven is already a better defender than Romero.
He's
And
not.
I am hoping Dragushin will take that.
But
I'm sorry,
he's
it's my
not.
opinion. I'm
though.
entitled
I'm
to my
telling you, he
opinion.
isn't gonna take Romero's spot.
How do you know in 2-3 years? If Romero is, I don't think Romero will be here in 2-3 years.
But I actually believe Romero, because I believe Romero will improve. Actually, that's why.
I hope
agree
so.
that Romero won't be here in 2 or 3 years, but that's because he'll be playing for Real Madrid.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell no, he's not.
Watch, they're already in from this summer, man.
Yeah, he will. He will go there.
Real Madrid, he's not.
They were in for him this summer.
Maybe he's a rotational center back for Real Madrid, but not no starter. Not no starter. Come on.
But Romero,
start
Can
for Real
I
Madrid.
ask anybody here
Not
one
for
thing?
Real Madrid.
Is Romero more rash than Rudiger?
No.
Rudiger's only
Rudiger was better.
Rudiger's only starting because of injuries. That's the only reason. He's starting.
Romero
No,
is
hold on.
less rash than
Is Romero
Ramos was.
so forget that, or is Romero more rash than Rudiger?
It's about the same. It's about the same.
And Romero, by the way, Rudiger is gonna start for Real Madrid.
Only because of injuries.
You think David Alaba and Militao are gonna start? I believe Rudiger was gonna start.
No.
By the way, just to let you know, Timmy, I'm gonna give you something, right? When the three were fit against Man City at home, they started Rudiger. He chose to start Rudiger because of the aggressiveness.
Tactical. Tactical.
Tactical, yes, tactical. It's not because of injuries then. It's because of tactical, right?
Week in, week out, Alaba and Militao is that partnership. Fact. That's just
I don't like Romero, bro. I think Romero is a
fact.
bozo.
That's what. If Alaba is fit, he is starting. If Militao is fit, he is starting.
I am like Kate. I'm like Kate. I can't do. I don't like Romero. I think he's a ticking bomb, but I believe every player can improve.
Yeah.
Think about it. The way Spurs play is actually gonna calm him down more, because under Antonio Conte, it was all about boom, boom, let's do this. I saw the calmness today in the players of Spurs, moving it slowly. You know what I mean? Taking control of games. That makes the defender calm down, right? And I think he is gonna improve, right? But at the moment, I think he's rash. Every time I'm watching him, like there is one play today, specifically one play today. He had a long touch and he jumped two-footed, and he got the ball, right? He jumped two-footed in the midfield. And I'm like, this is why I don't like you, because of a tackle like this. It could have been dangerous, but you avoided being endangering an opponent. These are the stuff that I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, that's the ticking ball right there. This one. He literally, you go watch it. He jumped, and I know people know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyway, listen, I have to. Things have changed now. It will be Rudiger and Militao. So thank you so much from a Madridista telling us. Listen, people, I wish I can stay longer, and we're gonna have this debate. I have this stay here. It's gonna take you to Hussam. Listen. You know where to find Will on Footy Judge Mo. He will be here midweek. He will be here Friday with Joe and Northside. Now he's gonna be permanent with us, which is I'm very happy that Will agreed to do that with me here every Friday. We're gonna have a lot of debates. This is gonna be a brilliant show. Timmy, great debut. Thank you so much for agreeing to do that. You blessed us with your appearance, my friend. I really appreciate you being here.
Appreciate the panel. Yep.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kate. Blessed to have you here, and blessed to have you with us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Tarkovsky over Romero. Anyway, great game for Spurs. No, Tarkovsky isn't great. See, this is what people do, Ron. Tarkovsky has one of the high stats in the league in terms of like blocks, tackles, because they are defending the whole game. So no. Is there another super chat? So yeah, I did the super chat right here. Tarkovsky over Romero. I don't believe that. Romero is better on the ball. Way better on the ball. People, stay here. This will take you to This Is Football on Hossam's stream. Well, Appreciate you. Will Stewart 365. I'm gonna put the channels in the description so you guys can give them, each and every one of them, a subscription if you want. Of course, Tottenham away, of course, as well, where you get all the Tottenham streams and all the stuff. I'm just doing it. But stay here, people. Don't go anywhere. It will actually take you to Stam stream. Thank you for everybody that joined us. And we'll see you guys soon. And we are out of here. Thank you, people.